There it is. Odin. No. Noble summon created in virtuality, this knight claims war and death as his domain, and atop his faithful Sleipnir he rides into battle and rends his foes asunder. It says he also keeps people from dying, or decides when it's not yet a person's time. Is he immune to magic damage? He's not immune to magic.
Do your thing.
What's he doing? Oh, spatial distortion. He's gonna cut battleground of space. Shit, that's not good.
Don't overdo it.
About damn time.
Sindri Sun. I think I want to Infernal Rush him, right?
Bang bang.
Damn.
Want some more? Give 'em hell.
Taking over.
Tells us some very key things. Dude, I love this.
Tis him.
Cosmo Canyon song version.
What? I'm not Seto. I'm...
Loathsome wretch. You think we shall be fooled again?
Thanks, Milan.
Undying is our enmity. Here we shall have our revenge.
Possessing the penguins.
Whoa, hey, hang on. You guys have it all wrong.
Silence, Seto. We beseeched your aid. Begged you to recover.
Their faces are green.
You would bring us salvation.
They
What?
wanted
I
Seto
never agreed to that.
to bring them the black
Do not
materia.
feign ignorance, Seto.
Don't overdo it.
Need my...
I'm not Seto. I'm his son, Nanaki. There's a lot of things I don't know yet, but I want to learn. Can you teach me about my father? About you?
So their faces are green. It's because green has the yellow, part of the yellow.
Seto, what would you like to
And yellow is mind. So they still have a mind, which is why their faces are green. They're mostly red, but they're not completely red. And this is just an indication that life is probably not entirely composed of primarily one color or the other.
Seto ventured deep into the caverns below your home that day. Alone, that he might persuade us to cease our ingress. Though we had braced ourselves for battle, we found ourselves captivated by his resplendent
By his resplendent. So notice the ass kissing.
in both bodies.
So notice the ass kissing, even though
Swayed were we by his courage and sincerity.
they are realists though.
But we chose to entrust with him our
So it may not completely be
desire.
ass kissing because they do. The red in the Marvel system is the Reality Stone, and the Gi, that's their primary essence color. So they are realists, so they might actually have been captivated by his resplendent mane. That might be true, or it could be ass kissing. But we'll see why it might be ass kissing here.
We desire the return of our black
So
materia
think about that real quick.
and deliverance from this purgatory. We believed Seto to be a man of his word, that his betrayal proved otherwise. Our hopes placed in him, only to be trampled upon. forsaken, overcome with rage.
So think about, so we know now that I showed you that the Gi are very much associated with Jenova. They have Jenova figurines in the at least four different Jenova effigies in the Gi's cave. And there's also Jenova masks in the Gi's cave. So think about the question, especially if the black materia really is the original meteor black materia, and they want to cease existing. Just assume that what they're saying about that is true. They want to cease existing, and the black materia turns out to be the original meteor black materia. And the way for them to cease exist is if basically the planet is annihilated or something, which seems to be some people's claims. If that's the case, and even if that's not the case, do the Gi actually want the black materia returned to them? No, they don't really. Because in order for the because they had the black materia, they created it over what they said was an eternity, and yet they didn't use it. The Cetra apparently just came just in time for them to take it away. They didn't use it, most likely because they couldn't actually use it. It was made of their essence. If their essence could do what they wanted, then they could just do it themselves. But no, they stored a bunch of their essence inside the black materia, most likely as a means of transporting their essence. But even if it was a meteor materia that they needed to summon, do they actually want it returned to them? No, they don't actually want it returned to them, because they need it to go to the north, similar to the white materia. Because the north, as we'll see, especially what we know from the original game, that there was something special about the Forgotten Capital, something special about the north. The reason why Aerith had to go to the north, the reason why Sephiroth is up in the north, is because there's something special about the north. But we know what it is, or according to my theory, we know what it is. We see what it is during the Jenova fight later on that'll come up. It's because the north has the space essence, the blue Mako space essence. And that essence is essentially in power like the blue materia. It's the empower, it's what enables massive spells in general, because green is made up of blue plus yellow. It's like green is magic materia. It's like if the yellow mentality or mind materia could be imported directly onto space, then you'd be doing magic. And so the blue essence is important for both Holy and Meteor to be used. It's important for the Gi's materia to be used. So, do the Gi actually want their black materia returned to them? No, they don't. They don't want their black materia returned to them. They want it to go north. And we're going to see at the end of this, there's going to be very solid evidence, almost proof, that they need the blue essence, because when these guys disappear, they're going to leave behind. The only thing they're going to leave behind is blue essence. They're going to leave like a pillar or flame of blue essence behind, because that blue is the space. Blue is what allows people, anything, to manifest in space, in the physical reality. And we're going to see once I fight Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh's island is called something like the place with no time and space, or the place where time and space ends. Gilgamesh and Gilgamesh's islands don't have space. It's why he can't manifest in this world. We see multiple instances where he tries to manifest in the world, but he can't hold it. It's only temporary, or it's dependent on Sephiroth. So we're gonna see these Gi disappear and leave behind a blue essence when they disappear, because that blue is required for them to actually manifest themselves in the reality. And so they don't actually want the black materia to be returned to them. But if that's the case, then why would they ask for it to be returned to them? And the reason for that is because that they know that the people of Gaia, that the Cetra and possibly even Nanaki, are liars, or that they're not just liars, but they will not follow up on their word. And we're probably going to see that that's actually true with Aerith. So far, 2 of Aerith's promises have not come true in Remake and Rebirth. She promised Cloud that no one would attack him the first time they met, and he gets attacked immediately. She promised Priscilla that that we would return and listen to the story of how she met the Mr. Dolphin. That doesn't happen in Rebirth. Probably doesn't happen in Part 3 where she's dead. So those two promises were broken. And the third one, which I'm gonna check, which I don't know for sure yet, or haven't checked yet, is when she promised Chloe that she wouldn't talk to Chocobo Sam or talk to anyone about what she said about Chocobo Sam. And then we're gonna see if she follows through on that promise. So 2 out of 3 promises so far Aerith has broken. And we're gonna see after this that Nanaki at Red 13 immediately reneges on this promise that he's about to make to the Gi. And so why would they? So the whole roundabout, I'll get to it.
One by one, our arrows found their mark. Yet Seto was unfazed by our assault. As a confidant, our secrets he would keep. As a penitent, our vengeance he would accept. Yet Seto would not forsake his duty to keep us from the veil. He was resolute, his will adamantine. And with every arrow that struck, his body hardened to match his resolve before our very eyes, unmoving in the face of our relentless onslaught. 'Twas not long until we lost heart, conceding the futility of our plight, and sank back into the dark depths whence we came. Yet the darkness granted us no comfort, and certainly not the oblivion for which we so desperately yearn.
I know this might sound hard to believe, but I want to finish what my father started. I want to fulfill his promise to you.
Is that so?
And even if you don't trust me, Ginatok does. He asked me to get back your materia. Like I told him, I'll do everything I can to make sure you can rest in peace. All I ask is that you wait in your cave until I return.
And if we comply, you will keep your word.
If we go back
Might
to the
take some
cave,
time,
you'll keep your
but
word.
I'll do it.
Bring the black materia to them. Your word as in bring them the black materia.
Finally, at long last.
Hang on.
And thus,
I'll get to you,
the promise
Milan.
has been made. See that it is not broken.
So watch when they disappear.
Son of Seto.
They leave behind blue essence.
You sure about this?
I guess
They're
it's a
gonna hold you
mythical
to it.
amulet. I guess it's an
And I
object.
hope they do.
But it's
Dad
a blue,
understood
but it's
the
blue.
Gi's suffering, but he also understood others would suffer if the Gi ever got the materia back. He was willing to bear that pain for them, even if it turned him to stone, if it meant that he could spare others from their wrath. We just have to find that black materia, and we have to make sure that no one gets their hands on it.
Not the Gi nor anyone else. So he just promised
I do
them.
want to keep my promise. I'm gonna find a way
Yeah.
to release them from their suffering.
Right, but that's not what
There's gotta be an
what they
answer
wanted.
out there somewhere.
But that's not what.
And I'm not gonna stop
Directly
searching
what they
until I
wanted.
find it.
So he promised that he would bring the black materia back to them,
Spoken like
but he
a true
immediately
watchman.
reneges on it.
You heard all that?
Our hopes and our dreams give us strength. Remember that.
Our hopes
Hold
and our
tight
dreams
to
give us
yours,
strength.
And see that you never let them go.
It gives us the excuse to lie to people,
They
basically.
shall lead you to the answer you seek.
So here's the thing. The Gi obviously have been there for eternity, thousands of years. So they have experience with Seto, with the Cetra, probably, saying they're intolerant, but they probably know, since it's been so long, that the promises being kept are not, that the promises being made are not going to be kept. The Cetras were communicating with them. And so they would break out, but then maybe they would be appeased or by something. So they should know by now that the Cetra or Nanaki and his men, they're not going to keep their promise to them. And that's the point. They do know by now that they're not going to keep their promise to them because, and so what they did is, like Sephiroth, like I say how Sephiroth is doing in Remake and throughout Rebirth, is essentially use reverse psychology. They tell them they don't want, or they want their black materia returned to them when that's actually the opposite of what they want. Cosmo Canyon is in the south. It's like one of the southernmost regions. And then the north is even further up than this point than what my cursor can go up to. So the Gi are locked almost the furthest away they can be from the north. And what we're going to see is the north has the vast bulk of that blue space essence that they need both to activate their black materia and the white materia, but also for themselves to be revived, because we saw Odin. Odin is the deity of space and time, and his sanctuary was mostly blue but a little bit of green. And in the Marvel universe, the space stone is blue, the time stone is green. And he's also the I forgot, he shepherds the dead or something like that. I'll have to find the exact quote, but he specifically decides when it's not like someone's time yet, when it's not someone's time to die yet, because he is the space. We're going to see that the juxtaposition or the duality between Gilgamesh and Odin. Gilgamesh is yellow and red. He has the prototypes of the soul stone, the spirit essence, and he's stuck. His island is called the place of no spirit and time, something of no spirit, of no space and time. And when he joins the Concord, the board game thing, he gives the pieces a spirit. He gives the pieces a soul. So Odin is the space. Odin has the space that enables the souls, or the mind plus the reality, to actually live. Living is basically having a place within space-time. And we see all these other worlds. These other worlds are essentially lacking the space-time that's required to actually be, what is considered the real world, or what is considered, I guess, existing in space. They still exist in like minds and maybe even in reality to some extent, but not within the space world, because they're lacking that blue essence. Same with the Gi. The Gi are lacking that blue essence, even though they're still trapped in the cave. And so as we saw, they disappeared. They left behind a blue essence. It happened to be an amulet or something. I gotta look at what it was. That it happened to be something like an amulet, but the blue is what they need to manifest. Corsair's compass. Was it a Red 13 weapon or something? Oh, what did I just get? Items. Sort by. How do I sort by? What did I just get? Oh, mythical amulet right there. Strengthened summons called forth in battle. So he got this from the Gi. The Gi's color is red. They're tied to red, essentially. Mythical amulet. Mythical. Strengthened summons. I wonder how much stronger it makes them. So it's basically, that's, I don't know if it's confirming, but it's a clue that the Gi's red essence is connected to the red summons essence. So once we get to, so the largest point of that was that the Gi use reverse psychology. The Gi are using reverse psychology similar to Sephiroth, because we know that the Gi are associated with Genova. We know that Sephiroth and Genova will actually want the black materia to go north, and the Gi are essentially using reverse psychology themselves on Red 13, pretending like they want it to them when because they know the Cetra, the Nanaki's people, they'll renege on their promises. They actually want the opposite thing, because they know that it'll are requesting something and will get them to do the opposite. All right, so sorry, Milan, assessing. Can I explain what is assessing? Then what is their wish to get Genova back again? What is their wish to get Genova back again? Well, it's for them to be. It's like so they say that they want to be destroyed, but obviously, if the Gi had a choice, do you think that they would want to be completely erased from their existence, their spirits and everything completely erased from existence, or to be revived and to be reintegrated into like a life cycle? If they had a choice, they would presumably or pretty obviously decide to actually be revived and be reintegrated to some kind of planet or life cycle thing. But not just that. We're shown by Sephiroth, and even at the end of Dirge of Cerberus, that the planet will become a part of like a cosmological or cosmic life stream thing. So just because the Gi are trapped within the planet by the Cetra for such a long time, it doesn't mean that that's their ultimate fate. It doesn't mean that they will forever be trapped there, and that's just, there's nothing they can do about it. They will eventually, if they stick with the planet, they will eventually also get to that cosmic life stream. So it doesn't make any sense really at all. Almost no sense. I mean, maybe you could say, well, maybe the existence of living as spirits detached from everything is actually torturous. It's probably torturous, maybe. But the most ideal thing that they would want would be to live again or to be reintegrated. And you would expect, since Sephiroth knows about this thing that the world become a part of, they would probably want to also become a part of that too. Same thing with the Cetra. The Cetra are almost all dead, and they'll all die when Aerith dies, presumably. But they still have control over the life stream. So you have to ask, like, why? Because the Cetra clearly have control, vast majority of control over the life stream, being able to summon holy, but also when they kick us out of the Gi's village, they just teleport everyone out of the Gi's village after they're discovered. So the Cetra still obviously have a lot of power, and they have a lot of presence in the life stream. And even like life stream Black and White, Aerith finds other Cetra who have not dissolved and who are still like, whose spirits are still intact in the life stream. They have the ability to persist themselves. So even they will continue on to whatever planet will become a part of at the end of its journey, or at the end of the entire planet's life cycle. And so it seems like what the Cetra are trying to do is they're trying to maintain that monopoly. They're trying to maintain that control over the life stream, because it still obviously gives them a lot of power. And that has a lot of implications, that has a lot of possibilities to it that I'll have to get into in like a more complicated, deeper discussion or deeper dive, because there could be some very diabolical things going on with the Cetra. They could have actually taken the Gi's planet from them. They could have actually caused the Gi's planet to fail. The calamity on the planet, they could have messed up their star. But Gi can't enter the life stream there in Limbo. Cetra are in and can control, as you say. Yet that's not necessarily true that the Gi can't enter the life stream. It's most likely, or it's very likely, because they're being separate. Like I said, like I showed, or I tried to show. When I get to the finale, when I start playing the finale tomorrow and Sunday, I don't know if I'll get to it tomorrow, but when we fight Jenova, when we break through the Forgotten Temple, there's a bunch of this blue Mako essence like everywhere, and it's very clearly blue. And green, the green life stream is composed of blue, or green is a mix of blue and yellow. And so a lot of my theory is that the Cetra and this planet's color is mostly yellow, like Titan's color is yellow, and it's essentially mined. And I'm putting together a big compilation of all the evidence to show that. But the Gi are essentially kept all the way down in Cosmo Canyon because they're being kept from that blue essence in the north. And red plus blue is purple, which is Jenova's color. So Jenova has some of the blue essence. That's why she's able to have some power and manifest and everything. Same with Sephiroth, because Sephiroth is up there. Sephiroth is up in the north now. He's basically, in the original game, we see him encased in a blue stasis, Mako stasis. And we see it like flowing around him also, like we're gonna see in when we fight Jenova for the last time in Rebirth up there. So they have access to this blue essence, but the Gi don't. The Gi are trapped down in Cosmo Canyon, away from it. And the blue is space, right? So it's like space, but it's also kind of the life giver. It's probably what is required for them to have a life stream of their own, and it's probably why the Cetra are essentially separating them from the blue, because they're essentially quartering off the blue essence in the north from the Gi and maybe even from other humans, possibly. And that's probably the reason why they absorbed the Gi's planet in the first place, or subsumed the Gi's planet, or their world, is because they wanted the blue essence, and they wanted more of it for themselves so that they could grow their own life stream. And so they separated them. They kept the Gi and the Cosmo Canyon far away, and then put all the blue essence in the north. And this is the ultimate plan of the Gi and Sephiroth and Jenova. There's a side quest that I did before this where the life springs in Cosmo Canyon are being drained of the green essence. Essentially, the Black Whispers are redirecting the life stream out of the life springs in Cosmo Canyon. It's basically what I think is probably the reason why, is because they're making space for, once we bring the Gi's black materia to the north, somehow they're gonna redirect. They get some kind of control over the north. They're gonna redirect all that blue, or as much of the blue as they can, down to Cosmo Canyon and feed it to the Gi here. And then the Gi are gonna get the space essence and become real, and not just spirits. They're gonna become more complete, and they're gonna basically be alive again, be revived. And that's what the real plan is. And when I go into tomorrow, the next couple of days, when I go into further the story, I'll show like how and why their plan is working and will work. Essentially, they're using Aerith's, what I just talked about how they know how the Nanaki's people are liars and manipulators, or maybe not liars and manipulators, but won't necessarily keep their word. They say things to get them to go back into their cave, but aren't necessarily going to follow through with the promise of bringing them the black materia.
May the blessings of the planet
So,
be upon you.
Sephiroth is also using a similar tactic with Aerith. Sephiroth is working with the Gi, and when Aerith heard that the Gi say that, the black materia has the power to destroy their essence, it implanted the idea in Aerith's head that, I'm going to use that black materia to destroy Sephiroth's essence. So her plan is to take out Sephiroth, but little does she know, it seems like she and the Cetra don't actually know about the connection between Jenova and the Gi. Essentially what they did was they planted that idea in her head. Aerith's gonna find the black materia from the north, from the temple, and then she put it in Cloud's Buster Sword. Our Gi Meteor is red. Is it red colored? I thought Meteor was like orange colored. I think Meteor was actually the Cetra's. I think Meteor was actually inherent to this planet. Because there's two temples, basically. The temple that we go to in Rebirth is in a different location
Are you in need of
completely
guidance?
than the original. The original temple. The original temple is in the south, also. Similar to why the Gi are in the south. I think the original temple is in the south to keep it away from the north, because the Cetra knew that the north was required to cast large spells like that. But I think the meteor was probably inherent to this planet, and the Cetra might have even used it on the Gi's planet, or the Gi's sun, the Gi's star, and launched it at the Gi's star, and that's how they were able to subsume the Gi's planet. Because it's probably not a coincidence that the Gi's planet just happened to have a calamity, and then the Cetra and their planet just happened to be flying by or flying nearby, and then just subsumed it when just fortuitously or opportunistically. It's most likely that the Cetra actually caused the Gi's planet to face a calamity.
The falling stars have indeed revealed themselves to us. All 3 of your photographs are precisely what I required. Yes, these will make a marvelous reference for posterity.
Deck
As
of
always,
tarot cards.
our
Trinket.
planet is as strong as she is beautiful, no matter the calamity. We have no reason whatsoever to fear for her demise.
Interesting. It appears that there are more comets than were previously observed.
More
Perhaps
comets.
this is a sign that our planet has, in fact, grown more robust.
Yes, surely it is. And if we take note of their positioning and connect each with lines, just so.
I see it. The pattern.
The pattern.
An unprecedented configuration.
Hey, what did you wish for?
Well, only what anyone else would. I just asked the stars to protect us from harm.
Right. Of course.
That face you made earlier, what was that about?
Don't know what you mean.
Guess the shooting stars have said their piece.